Alright everyone, we are going to figure out how to draw or find a profit for a monopoly. So you should recognize this as a typical demand curve right here, and this is a demand curve whether you're a monopoly, perfect competition, or whatnot. But remember, monopoly is bound by this demand curve. Then we're going to add in a curve right here. I'm going to pause and give you a moment to say what this curve is, and hopefully you said marginal revenue. What happens is, as the monopoly makes one more item, they have to charge less, a smaller market price for that one item, and that cuts into their marginal revenue. So before, if they made 20 items, they could charge, or if they made, let's see, 10 items, they could charge the market price of $21. But when they decide to make 12 items, they have to drop the market price to $19, and they do that for everything because price discrimination is illegal in most cases, and that's going to lead to a decrease in marginal revenue. Marginal revenue becomes negative down here, and of course you're not going to make something where you are losing money for each product that you create, so we should never produce below the $0 price line because monopolies won't lose money since they do have an option to do that. At least they won't lose revenue. Okay, monopolies can operate at a loss, but we'll get to that at a later date. Now we have our old friend, the marginal cost curve, and that's our little swoosh signal right here that you're used to. Okay, and we have our ATC curve, which can also come in, and that's going to cross marginal cost at its minimum, and there we have ATC. So I'm going to label those two right quick. Now, think about, as I label these, marginal cost and ATC are related because ATC always crosses marginal cost at its minimum. Think about your grade. You cannot raise your grade unless your marginal grade is higher than your average grade. So here we are, and our rule for producing. Here's my question for you. Are we going to produce here, MC equals ATC, here, MC equals MR, or here, MC equals demand? And of course the answer is the MC equals MR rule. You are going to produce and maximize your profit where MC equals MR. So that is your profit maximizing point. However, that answer right there only tells us where you are producing in terms of quantity. So if we figured out quantity, we should be able to figure out price. And here's how we figure out price. We're going to take our MC, drop down and see our quantity here, and I'll turn that into a little dotted line since that's just giving us information. And then we have to go up to the demand line because we want to charge as much as possible. So we're going to see the highest price that the market can bear, and we find that by going up to the demand curve for whatever this product is. So then we can move out toward price, and when we do that, we'll find our market price. It looks like we're approximately $19 is our market price. But we're not done. Now we want to find profit. All right, to find profit, we're going to have to go down to ATC, and we're going to have to look across. So let's review right quick what our equations for profit are. Profit equals our revenue minus our cost. And of course, not just revenue minus cost, total revenue minus total cost for this item. So the next question, of course, is what's total revenue? Total revenue equals the price times the quantity. Total cost. We don't know the individual cost all along this cost curve. However, we do know the average total cost times quantity will give us total cost, even if we don't know the full shape of this average total cost curve. So now we have all these pieces together, we can find our profit. So here is the price that we have charged. Here is the quantity that we've sold. So price times quantity will give me my total revenue. And that would be represented by this entire area. Let's see, I'm going to pull my highlighter here, change my color a little bit. So revenue is the amount that we brought in. That's all of this. But we actually want to find profit. So we need to subtract out our cost, which is this area, to find profit. And if we subtract out our cost, what we have left is profit. Now, remember, profit is also represented by pi. It's a whole lot easier for me to write out profit in this instance, but you would likely see pi on an actual graph. All right, so here we have our profit. Let's just review what kind of numbers we would look at. We would need to take this price that we found by reaching our demand curve, which is approximately 19, and subtract out our cost, which is approximately 11, which gives me $8 profit per item at this point. But I need to know how many items to get my full-on profit, because we don't want profit per item, we want full profit. In this case, we'll make it 11 to make it easy. So you would have 11 by 8, or $88 profit in this instance. So you can see what the profit for Monopoly is. Good work. Hope this helped.